10:48 at the time now, talking about computer science at GCSE, which we've just established. Naga, you took, and Ben, you took as well.
Yeah. But we've also established that the computer in your school was in a big room.
It was big and it was a bit further back, so I didn't.
And there was just one, right?
Yes.
Just the one. The computer. The computer. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah, morning to you too. Yeah, of course, computer science, part of the national curriculum already, but a new report says that the training on offer to older children is pretty patchy right across the country. The Royal Society says that is because of a shortage of teachers that have the right skills. So it wants more schools to be like this one in St Albans.
Fundamentally, we have to get more teachers to overcome the shortage that we've got with the specialist knowledge and abilities in order to deliver effectively the curriculum that is so important. Preparing young people for jobs that don't exist today, and that's one of the things that we need to be very ready for in terms of the 21st century learners. Computer science offers so many skills beyond just programming or the traditional view, so things like problem solving, logical thinking, skills that they will use through all disciplines of life, not just being a programmer or a computer scientist.
Well, Professor Steve Furber is with me. He's fellow at the Royal Society. He wrote the report, we should say the report funded by Microsoft and Google. He's also one of the inventors of the iconic BBC microcomputers. You may remember them. There's one of them there. Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming in. We'll talk about the micro in just a moment. But, you know, this report's pretty stark. It suggests that despite all of this demand for computer skills and all the jobs that are being created with those in mind, there just isn't the right training. That's the case?
That's right. The state of computer science teaching is fragile and it's patchy. So there are some schools who are doing extremely well, like the one we've just heard about. But half the schools in the country are not even offering computer science at GCSE. So it's very variable depending on where you are. I
mean, clearly schools have got to get it right and work out what skills they need to give to students for the jobs that are becoming available. But we know that the future of the workplace will be IT, it will be programming, it will be robotics, it will be artificial intelligence. Why is there such a problem getting the right teachers?
The problem is that the curriculum went through a fairly significant change from the old ICT curriculum to the new computing curriculum. And the new curriculum contains some fairly challenging content. And the teachers have not received enough support to be able to teach that content thoroughly.
So what would you like to see change? I mean, how do we get more teachers in schools? Because I assume it takes time to train them with those new skills that you talk about.
We'd certainly like to see more teachers being recruited into this area. The government has failed to meet the teacher recruitment targets. It's hit about 68% of the numbers it aimed to recruit over the last 5 years. But also we need to offer much better and wider training to the teachers already in place to enable them to teach the new curriculum.
How do you inspire young people to get involved? I mean, we're looking here. This is the BBC Micro. You were one of the principal designers of this. Look, it's showing its age, it's fair to say now. But that got a whole generation of young people interested in computing. What's the next thing? How do you do that now?
Well, I think there are many initiatives to try and attract interest in computing. People know about Raspberry Pi, and of course the BBC Microbit is also in that space. And we see lots of very effective school clubs where the pupils are playing with robots and Raspberry Pi and Microbit and so on. And these are very good for the pupils that can engage in that kind of activity. But it's not available widely enough.
Yeah, and a lot of implications, of course, for jobs and things as that goes on. Professor Steve Furber, really good to see you. Thanks for coming in, a fellow there at the Royal Society. And I should just say we've had a statement from the Department for Education. It's told us that it wants to ensure that the workforce or the future workforce has the skills that they need to drive future productivity and the economy of the country. They've said that they made computing a compulsory part of the national curriculum. But as you heard there, the shortage of teachers with the right skills could prove to be a problem. You're up to date. More from me after 8. I'll see you then.
Ben, thanks very much.